You guys can see my screen. Can you guys hear me? Hello? What is going on? Can you guys hear me? Okay. Gonna go over, if you guys have been through this, the same thing, because I feel like a lot of times people will go through it once, not quite understand. So this is basically basics of futures, just the fundamentals of getting started. If you've never traded futures, if you want to trade futures with your own capital, if you want to do prop firms, whatever it is, this is going to give you just the fundamentals of what futures are. I see so many people getting started in futures and just getting wiped out. And a lot of it has to do really is because of the fundamentals. And that comes from, just trying to skip the line and just jump in. It's kind of a saying, like, when people are trying to, lose weight or whatever, they'll do anything not to, eat right and go to the gym or whatever it is. You're not going to skip the line. Just know that you will end up paying a price, whether it's through blown accounts. When I got started with trading futures, I didn't, back when, in 2022, there were barely any people trading futures. At least from like everybody was trading options at the time. So I came from options, and I had to learn a lot of the trial and error. And with that said, I've been teaching the futures basics for over 3 years. Over the past couple of months, I have picked it up and I'm teaching it a lot more. But it's, whoa, we're getting some big red candles. That's a sweep. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's like a 60-point candle in that. What the heck? Hang on a second, guys. I don't know why I can't move my... I'll do a drawing at the end, or towards the end, I'll see. But that was a nice big candle that just came through. I can't move my screen over because for some odd reason I messed up the... let's see. Just pulling something up quickly before I get started. No. All right. Hi. Okay, I'll go ahead and get started. And then towards the end, I'll show you guys how to execute if you've never, seen it. Just basically how it moves, how NASDAQ moves, S&P 500, things like that. So. And also, if any of you want to follow along, you can go to the propfirmtrend.com and go into, so you get here, but it's the trading resources, futures trading resources, and it's going to be in there. And you can also come back to this. This is free. You can come back to this whenever you like, if you want to revisit. So anyway, let's get started. So what are futures? So futures trading is basically a contract between a buyer looking to invest and a seller where the contract is made for the future and has an expiration date. So there are two participants, hedgers and speculators. Hedgers protect their assets from risks, and speculators are usually floor traders. So as retail traders, we are considered speculators. Futures contracts are available in 5 different assets: equity index futures, interest rate futures, commodity futures, currency futures, metal futures, and they all have expiration dates. Your broker, whatever you're using, so for example, NinjaTrader or Tradeovate, they will automatically prompt you to roll over, as you can see in the examples down here on NinjaTrader. Also, guys, at the end, I will answer any and all questions that you may have. So don't think that there's a question that's dumb. We've all been newbies somewhere, whether it was, starting to trade penny stocks or options or crypto or futures. It doesn't matter. If you have a question, somebody else might have one as well. Okay. Alrighty. Let's move along. So equity index futures typically expire on the third Friday of every third month, which is, S&P 500 and NASDAQ. They're quarterly expirations, which is March, June, September, and December. However, if you're trading interest rate futures, commodity futures, currency futures, and metal futures, they expire monthly. So gold and oil, they expire monthly. So basically the purpose of this is to teach some of the fundamentals of how futures work, how you can trade them on your own account, how you can get a funded account, since I believe that many traders would benefit from adding futures trading to their skill set. So some of the key terminologies, I'm not going to go through all of these. You can go back through them later if you would like, but just a few of them that you're going to hear quite a bit. So for example, key terminologies used in futures trading: lot or contract means unit of the instrument. So if I say I'm in 5 lots or 5 contracts of NQ, that's just what it means. Tick is the smallest price movement that a futures contract can make. Point is a $1 move or one handle. Globex is basically an electronic trading platform used for derivative futures and commodity contracts. But traders also use the term Globex to mean the overnight session of the market. And RTH is the regular trading hours for a specific exchange or market center, typically during the New York Stock Exchange market. Margin is the amount of money required to be deposited by a trader to open a futures position. So these are all kind of self-explanatory. So I'm just going to kind of move along with this. So first off, the market is essentially futures. And we frequently discuss ES, which is the S&P 500. And although these futures are traded similarly to other derivatives, leverage is what they offer above all else. So futures trading is basically or simply a very leveraged form of stock trading. Okay, so to contrast with futures, an E-mini S&P 500 futures contract offers roughly 32 to 1 leverage. ES trades in ticks, which is a 0.25 spread. And one contract changes value by $12.50 for every 0.25 that it moves. So you gain or lose $50 when ES moves 1 point. So if ES moves 10 points, then you either win or lose $500. Okay. Now, a tenth of an ES contract is an MES. They're micros. So instead of a $50 per point for ES, it's $5 for each point on MES. So it's simply the same stuff, but it's 1/10 of it. Okay. Now, the most often futures that like as retail traders that we trade, at least, in our trading community, is basically ES or MES, which is basically like SPY, SPX and SPY. NQ, MNQ is like NDX, QQQ, RTY is IWM, CL is oil, GC is for gold. Now, these trade in a manner more akin to shares than options. There's no theta, there's no IV. Stop losses can be placed at precise price points, and each futures contract has its own specification, including the size of the contract. And the tick size, which is that minimum price movement, is what kind of goes off of. Now, if you look at ES or MES in NASDAQ, there are 4 ticks in each point. So for example, I just went over ES, but for example, for NQ, it changes value by $5 per tick or $20 per 1 point, and one MNQ changes value by 50 cents per tick or $2 per point. Now, if you look at oil, and I want to kind of just show the contrast of the two. When I started trading, like I said, I didn't really have anyone to mentor me, or I did a lot of trial and error. So I get into trading oil, CL, and I get in and I'm down $80, and I'm like, what the heck? I initially thought it's a glitch, because how am I down $80? I just got into the trade. It hasn't moved. The price hasn't moved. Really. And I didn't know that at the time that oil or CEL changes value by $10 per tick, or $10 per 0.01 cent. So each penny is a tick, and it's worth $10. So it's $1,000 per 1 point, meaning if oil is trading at $60 and it goes from $60 to $61, that $1 move, or that one handle, is $1,000, because every single penny is worth $10. So in oil, there's 100 ticks in each point, compared to, if you're looking at ES or NQ, there's 4 ticks in each point. So just to kind of give you guys a contrast, that they're not all the same, they're all different. Futures market is open 23 hours a day. You must close out your position by 4:59 p.m. Eastern if you're trading on funded prop firm accounts or day trade margins. It opens Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern and closes Friday at 4:59 p.m. Eastern. Best time to trade are typically during the New York Stock Exchange market open, or during the European markets, which is in the middle of the night. And you also need to check during the holidays, as the hours may vary. So for example, tomorrow we have Thanksgiving, and a lot of today's Wednesday, right? Jesus, I don't even know what day today is. Yeah. So tonight we're going to open back up at 6 p.m. Eastern. And it's going to stop trading tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. It depends on which platform. Some of them are going to stop at like 12 p.m. Eastern or whatever. I think Project X is like 11:30 or something like that, Central Standard Time. But just to kind of give you guys, it resumes back tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern. So there's only like 5 hours in between, or 4 hours, whatever, that they're going to be closed. 5 hours. And then on Friday, the market closes earlier as well. But New York Stock Exchange is closed. So just to show you guys, it's not, the trading hours are not the same as the New York Stock Exchange. This right here basically is showing you guys, it's a comprehensive futures contract specification. It gives you the description of different futures contracts. If you want to trade soybeans or corn or natural gas or whatever it is, it'll tell you what the ticker is and the minimum tick, and then how much each tick is worth. Okay, so here's ES and then the micro version of it. You can see the difference. Same thing with NASDAQ. So just kind of wanted to point that out. One thing I want to say is that typically, we discuss, NQ and ES. However, what I see a lot is that many new traders are going to come in and they're going to jump straight into trading ES or NQ. And what they don't realize, they think, hey, I'm just trading futures. But what they don't realize is that the risk is equivalent to trading the full index value. So they don't realize that trading NQ is like trading NDX. And trading ES is like trading SPX. So most traders should be trading micros, which is MNQ, which is more like trading QQQ, or MES, which is more like trading SPY. Think of it, if you're a brand new options trader and you have a $2,000 port and you jump in to trade SPX, we know what's going to happen with your port. You're going to blow that port really fast. So that's the importance of knowing the fundamentals and the sizing. We see a lot of these posts on Twitter or Instagram or whatever. It doesn't matter. But what most aren't teaching out there is the sizing and what the contracts and risk management, things like that. So it's so important when you guys start, especially in the beginning, to play with the 1/10 of the risk. Otherwise, unless you've got a shit ton of money to blow and you want to do that, then, that's kind of on you, right? So you shouldn't be trading NQ or ES when your port size or your account size says that you should be trading MNQs. Same thing with ES. Okay, now I'm going to go over different ways of getting funding. First, I'm going to go over the funding your account with your own capital. And then I'll go into the prop firms. So basically, there's 3 different ways, I suppose, that you can get funding. One way is to trade micros, which we just talked about. And if you're using a traditional broker, you can also use minis as well, but the capital you're going to need is a lot more. So a micro with a traditional broker, such as TOS or IBKR, you need roughly about $2,347 for an MES lot and about $23,000 for one ES lot. Again, you want to check with your broker with how much margin or how much capital you would need for these. The second one is to use a broker that specializes in futures, such as NinjaTrader or Trade08. So instead of the $23,448, for traditional brokers, Trade08 offers a $500 to $1,000 day trade margin for E-mini contracts. So micro contracts are even more affordable. So MES costs only $50 day trading margin, and MNQ costs $100 for micros. This is for day trade margin only. Overnight position, or if you're like a swing trader and you want to swing over the weekend, those require a full initial margin, and I'll explain that in just a second. But if you're using NASDAQ or NQ and you want to swing over the weekend, one contract is $33,000. Whereas if you're utilizing the day trade margin, it's only $1,000. Also, NinjaTrader owns Trade08, so you can fund your NinjaTrader account, and you can actually trade all of these accounts together. There's a copy trader or trade copier, sorry, and you can link all of your accounts on NinjaTrader and trade them simultaneously. So basically, the distinction is when you purchase or sell a contract, you're not purchasing ES shares. So therefore, it costs the same amount of money to buy or sell one contract, regardless of the price at which ES is trading. And margin is a term for this. So TOS and IBKR need around, like I said, 23K. But for a broker that specializes in futures, as a result, it's actually fairly affordable, making it a good choice for those who feel comfortable trading their own money. Also, margins do change based upon news events such as CPI or FOMC. So you'd want to check with your broker on margin specifications. This right here is the day trade margin that I'm talking about. Hang on a second. I'm going to have somebody hop on in a little bit to actually show you guys some cool stuff. Sorry, I just got a little distracted because he messaged me that he's available. Hang on. All right. So, margin requirements with NinjaTrader and Trade of 8. So if you look the day margin for ES, it's $500. For NQ, it's $1,000. But if you want to swing, it's $23,000 and $33,000. But for the micros, it's $50 for MES, $100 for MNQ. But you can see with the initial margins, if you're like wanting to carry a trade from Friday to Sunday night or whatever, this is what you would need this initial margin. Now, Trade of 8 offers reduced margins for both the day session as well as the overnight session. So, reduced intraday day margins are currently available from 6 p.m. Eastern until 4:45 p.m. Eastern the following day. So, basically, for 23 hours, you can utilize this day margin. Okay. So, but if you want to hold a trade between the 4:45 p.m. and 6 p.m., so for like an hour and 15 minutes, then you would need to have this initial margin. For me, as a day trader, as a scalper, I utilize a day trade margin because I can get a lot more, obviously. I don't have to have a $40,000 port just to buy one contract of NQ. I can utilize the day margin and I'm in and out of trades. So that's basically what that means. And then the third way of getting funding is to utilize a finance partner, such as the prop firms. There's so many of them out there, guys. But for example, Tradeify, Apex Trader Funding, Take Profit Trader, the Futures Desk, Top Step, My Funded Futures. Some of them have a one-day pass. So for example, Tradeify and I think Lucid, they both have a one-day pass. Whereas Top Step, for example, has a 2-day minimum evaluation where you can be funded in as little as 2 days. Take Profit Trader has a 5-day evaluation. However, once you pass on Take Profit Trader, and once you meet your threshold, then you are able to start withdrawing money daily. Whereas, with the other ones, it needs to be, there's a consistency. So how this works is you demonstrate to the prop firm that you are a successful trader and you must pay to enter the evaluation, which is basically a SIM. So it's a SIM account. If you succeed, you will then be given a funded account to trade with. You pay the activation fee. Some firms they don't even have activation fees. So it just depends on accounts and prop firms. So this here is from Apex. So you keep all of the proceeds up to 25K. And you keep 90% of the profit after this first 25,000 you earn, while they keep 10%. So it's a profit split. Some people will get multiple accounts when on discounts. So like this week, there's obviously Black Friday sales. So people will stock up on these and either trade them together or one by one, rotate them. if you're a beginner, I would not recommend anyone, getting and trade copying, just because if you blow one account, you're going to blow all of them. And yes, if you pass one, you're going to pass all of them. But at the same time, just kind of get get started with one, pass it, get a payout, and then add. You can scale in. Okay. Now, is this too good to be true? Not really. Most traders fail due to lack of discipline. So this is how these companies make money. If you can trade the chart, such as the price action, and stay disciplined and consistent, then you'll make money. There are people everywhere. Obviously, you guys have seen this all over, I'm sure, social media and everywhere, where they've already withdrawn their funds, but they're also consistent. And the worst that can happen is you lose your account evaluation fee. You do not pay back any capital. And also, these evaluations, you can take as many times. It's not just once and that's it. And like, for example, like I trade with NinjaTrader, and I'm able to link up my live accounts along with different prop firms all at the same time and just trade copy them. And this here is from Take Profit Trader. So basically, why prop firm versus trading your own money? Simply put, most traders are undercapitalized. So let you level the playing field by using their accounts and not your own funds. And trading your own funds can lead to severe losses. However, if you're utilizing a prop firm, your losses are limited to your associated challenge fee. Also, all of the technology and account setup is done by them, so there's not like extra documentation or any painful account setup experiences. And also, lack of discipline haunts traders. So, the risk management system and rules will make sure you stay disciplined during the trades. Okay, so before I get started here, this is a very important aspect to know what a drawdown is and what kind of drawdowns there are. And let me just let me go to, hold on a second, Tradeify, because I want to show you guys something. The futures desk. Okay, so this is Tradeify. They have two different types of accounts. This right here this is an evaluation test, which is called growth. It's a 1-day pass. There's no activation fee. And the trailing is end of day trailing. So for like a 50K account, it all in is about $83. So once you pass, there's no activation fee to pay. Drawdown is end of day. Then they also have an account called Lightning Funded. And what that is basically means you skip the evaluation. You do not have any profit to meet. You've got whatever you make in this account, the Lightning Funded, you get to keep. As long as you don't hit your max drawdown, and the drawdown mode is end of day. And as long as you stay consistent, and I'll go over the consistency with you guys in just a bit. Futures desk, same thing. They've got end of day trade drawdown. However, my favorite out of all of these drawdowns is called a static account. So for example, so there's also no activation fee on this one, but let's just say for a 50K account, static drawdown is 2,000. Your profit target is 4,000, and you can customize these plans however you want. If you want to have limit, how many contracts, how many days to pass, things like that. You can customize this, and I'll explain what the static means. And then here's Apex. They allow you to have up to 20 accounts. Whoops. So it's their Trade of 8 plan. They have an intraday trailing. And I think, like right now, their 50K account all in. No, sorry, their 100K account. Excuse me. Their 100K account all in is like $69 or $67. I'm not 100, or maybe it's $64. I need to check my Twitter account. But either way, it's a very low price. So basically, it's like 50 some dollars for the evaluation, and then it's $10 for once you pass for the activation of it, and that's on a 100K account, which is right here. Okay, so brings me back to this. So what is a drawdown? So drawdown is the maximum loss you're allowed to have before your account gets breached. Understanding how it's calculated is crucial for risk management and choosing the right platform approach. So I'll talk about intraday trailing and then end-of-day trailing and then static drawdown. So how it works. Your drawdown limit moves with you. So the intraday trailing, your drawdown limit moves up with your balance and unrealized gains throughout the day, but resets to the daily starting balance each day. So for example, on a 50K account, let's say you have a 6% risk or drawdown or 3K drawdown. You start your day at 50,000, your drawdown is 47,000. At 10 a.m., you make $500 profit. Okay. Your balance is 50,500. Your drawdown moves to 47,500. Let's say at 11 a.m., you make another $300. Your drawdown is 50,800. Sorry, your balance is 50,800. Your drawdown moves to 47,800. So let's say at 1 p.m., you open a position with $600 unrealized gain. You're at 51,400 unrealized. Your drawdown now moves to 48,400. It trails behind the unrealized gains. At 2 p.m., you close your position for $400 realized profit. It's at 51,200. Your drawdown stays at the 48,400. It doesn't go down. So let's say you lose $400. Your drawdowns or your balance is now 50,800. Your drawdown's still going to stay at 48,400. It doesn't go down. So the remaining drawdown is $2,400. So technically, if you are a more of a scalper, or you are you take base hits, then intraday trailing drawdown is fine. What actually ends up happening, your account does become static once you pass. So once you pass the evaluation. So let's say in this example, the 50K account, as soon as you're over like the $3,000, which is your drawdown amount, plus $100, your account becomes static. So if you take this account up to 60 grand and you can lose $5,000, you're not going to lose your account because that drawdown will not move once you're over the limit. Okay. Second is called the end of day trailing, and how that works is your drawdown limit only moves up based on your ending balance at the close of each trading day. 50K account with 6% or 3K drawdown. Your day one starts at 50,000. Drawdown is 47,000. Your total drawdown is available is 3,000. During the day, you go up to 51,500, then down to 50,800. Your drawdown stays at 47,000 all day. So your total drawdown available is 3,000. It stays fixed all day. So you close out your day at 50,800. Your drawdown will update at the end of that day, which is going to be at 47,800. And the drawdown is 3,000. So the next day, your balance is 50,800, and this is your new starting balance, right? This is good for those that like to hold their positions longer. If you are a trader that kind of likes to hold for a couple of hours or a couple of, like, basically all day or whatever. And also those that, and I know many of these, who will have profits. So for example, they'll go up $1,000 in profit, and because they want more, they're going to sit there and watch their position go back all the way to either break even or to a loss. And, so this end of day trading is for you. Intraday trading would not be for you if you are letting your trades go up quite a bit and then let them come back and basically take your profit, give your profits back or whatever. The third one, this is my favorite one. It's probably everybody's favorite because that's kind of how it mimics our own personal accounts. I do want to emphasize that both intraday trailing and end of day trailing, majority of the prop firms do become, once you're funded, your accounts do become static as soon as you're over the threshold amount plus 100. Again, you want to check the rules with different firms. They're all a little different, but the way the static drawdown works is that your drawdown limit is fixed based on your starting account balance and never changes. So for example, for a 50K account with $3,000 drawdown, your account starts at 50,000, your drawdown is 47,000. Week 1, you grow to 55,000, your drawdown stays at 47,000. Month 1, you grow to 60,000, your drawdown stays at 47,000. Month 6, your account is at 75,000. Your drawdown is still 47,000. So it never moved, right? It never changes. However, if you lose $28,000, then your account can breach. Okay, so that's the difference, and that's why I wanted to pull up these other ones just to show you guys that different firms have different rules. So this right here is just some of the ways to kind of evaluate. You can look at the evaluation rules, the payout rules. So for example, like Apex right now, they have an 80% off deal with 1 day pass. Their 100K account is like 60, like I said, 67 or 67, I want to say, dollars for all in, meaning that once you pass your valuation, that would be the evaluation and the activation fee. However, so it's like $57 for the evaluation and then plus $10 for once you pass it for an activation fee during their promotion. Tradeify has a 1 day pass as well. Like I said, Take Profit Trader has a little bit longer. And this here is a calculator. You guys can go in. So let's just kind of, let's go to Tradeify just to, I don't know, let's just do this. And they've got a 40% off. Okay. Let's add Top Step. 50K. So Tradeify 50K account. Profit target is $3,000. Drawdown is end of day trailing. Top Step profit target is $3,000. Drawdown is $2,000. End of day trailing as well. If you compare the two, all in, Tradeify is less expensive. But they all have different rules, guys. Payout rules are different. And so you want to go through all of that and see what makes more sense. You can add another firm if you want. Where is that little calculator? Oh, here. Or you can add the same firms with higher account sizes. So what would the 100K account be? What would do they have 100K? Yes. So at the end, it's just going to kind of give you, comparison of different accounts. Now with the Black Friday deals, you'd want to kind of check to see what the discounts are. And I've actually posted a lot of them here. Yeah, so it is it's $69. I'm sorry, I thought it was 67 for but like some of these have a buy one get one off. So like Funded Futures Network has a buy one get one and it's 50% off plus no activation fee. So you can just kind of go through that. But I wanted to show you guys this part. So this is a trading psychology lab. When we start to trade, oh, you know what? I forgot one more thing. Consistency calculator, that's what I wanted to show you guys. So for example, Top Step, okay, has in so to speak profit trader, but Top Step has a 50% consistency during their evaluation phase, okay? So what does that mean? Let's say your profit target is $3,000 and let's just say one day you make $1,800, okay? You're going to be over the consistency because you are now, your total profit cannot be more than 50% in one day. So let's say you made $1,500. That's great. 50% or less, you're going to be fine. Okay. $700. Okay. Now you're at 23%, which is great. Okay. So technically, as traders, when you're trading, this number tends to get lower and lower over time. You're going to have days where you're making, let's just say, I don't know, $2,000. You're going to have days where you're making $500 or where you're making, where you have a loss. But at the end, like on a weekly or a monthly basis, when you look at it, it actually tends to even out. So that's what this consistency calculator is for. Okay, so trading psychology lab. So as traders, we all have our demons, right? If you do an honest self-assessment of, prior to your trading, so you go in and you journal your things, so you get, you're greedy or you're feeling greedy or vengeful or whatever it is, it's going to tell you you're high risk, consider not trading today. If you're a little between the two, it's going to give you elevated risk. You proceed with caution. And the longer you keep these, checkpoints, you're going to see that there's typically a pattern. Okay, so for example, herd mentality. You follow the crowd without analysis. Okay, then you want to kind of put in why you're doing that. So the next step is the risk management calculator. And this is one of the most important things. This is why most people fail, because they don't follow risk management. In fact, I can't even blame them because a lot of them don't even know how to calculate it. A lot of them don't know, especially when they get started with futures, they jump in, like I said, into NQ or ES instead of the micros. Okay, so let's say you have a 50K account. That's going to give you a $2,000 drawdown with majority of the prop firms. Okay, so this is the drawdown amount, not, a 50K account. And let's just say typically you should not be risking more than 2 to 3% per trade, especially not more than 5%. This is used, only for high conviction setups with strong edge. But let's say our entry is, I'm just going to use 25,000, and we have a stop loss at 25,010. Okay, so it's a 10-point stop loss. Again, you want to calculate your own risk because everybody's risk tolerance is different. Also, your stop losses might be different. So if your stop loss is wider than this, then your calculation position size is going to be different as well. So let's just say for 5% on a 50K account, you should only be playing with 5 micros or less. Technically, it should be 2 micros. So you're risking $40 on a $2,000 drawdown. So if you are in this zone where you are risking 15% or more, that's 15 contracts of MNQ. It means you're risking $300 per position. That is account destruction zone. So it's 15% risk. Basically, it's gambling. It's not trading. 5 losing trades, you're going to get 50% or more of the account gone. 7 losing trades, accounts likely destroyed. And this is how 90% of the traders blow up. Okay. So when people say I blew my account, a lot of times they are sizing in. They'll go in with NQ. In fact, they're not risking 15% or 20%. I've had people message me. They're like, "Oh, I blew my account," and I'm like, "Well, how much did you use?" "Oh, 3 NQs." "Okay, what size of an account?" "Oh, 2,000, or 50K account." Well, you can't, even at 15%, which is a $300 risk per position, it should be one contract. And this is quite a bit. But you're messaging me telling me you're going with 3 cons. You're going to blow your account. And this is where most people get it wrong. They don't size in properly. So actually, there was a guy that's in my Discord, and he was sizing in quite a bit using NQs on a 50K account, and he messaged me maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago, I can't recall. And he said, I haven't had a payout yet. And I said, okay, well, what's going on? And he said, well, I've blown my port. It was a 50K, whatever. So I asked him, well, how do you size in? Well, using NQs. So I said, no, okay, let's stop and do that. Let's go back to basics and start sizing in with MNQs. This morning, he says to us, he goes, I'm getting my first payout. He scaled back and he's been using only like 2 micros, 2 MNQs per position. And now he's getting a payout. So it takes time for you to get consistent and then scale up. If you see someone using, I don't know, 40 NQ lots, and they have their own port, that means that their port is probably 7 figures. You can't do the same thing, especially if you're playing with, with prop firms or with $2,000 drawdown or even $5,000 drawdown. Everybody's port is different. So you have to size accordingly to your account, not my account, not so-and-so's account. Don't trade somebody else's P&L. You want to trade your own P&L because that's how you're going to be consistent. Once you're consistent, then you scale up by 1 or 2, trade a couple of weeks, then scale more. So that's basically how it's done. Same thing, with MES, you want to use micros. Gold, I saw a lot of people trading gold when it was, really good. But I can guarantee you that 95% of them did not know how to scale in because I saw GC on their accounts and they're trading a 50K account. So again, this is your friend, this risk management calculator. It's here in the Trading Psychology Lab. It's free, guys. This is all free. Like I said, I didn't have anyone when I got started trading futures to help me with any of this. So of course I was trading with ES and NQ and full porting and basically being a degen. And it took time to learn to scale back and not do that. And it's hard to break bad habits. So it's more important that you learn good habits while you're in the beginning so that that dopamine doesn't hit when you are, trading later. So let's see. Okay, so here, this is a free journal right here, guys. You can import, CSV import. This is it's a basic journal. It's not anything, cool. But in this little growth calculator, you can go in and, you can input, what your starting balance is, what your daily risk amount or percent or limit is, and how your account, if you have a 50% win rate or 30% or 70%, whatever it is, just to see how your account potentially, calculate your growth. Your risk to reward ratio should, it means you should not be risking more So let's just say, okay, you risk $500 to make $1,000 per day. That is fine because you only need a 33.3% win rate to break even, and anything above that is profit. Okay. This is why your profits need to exceed your risk. However, if you're risking $1,000 to make $200, that's not going to work. And let me just see if I. One thing when I'm trading NASDAQ or NQ, I always check the calendars. So you'll want to go in and check, make sure that there's no like big news coming through, like if CPI or FOMC. Some firms will not let you trade during that. Some firms will. Some will let you trade evaluations through it, but not funded accounts. So you want to read the rules when it comes to news trading. Check the earnings. Technically, whatever you're trading, you should be checking these anyway. Another thing is, go to news feeds, look at, Bar Chart or Benzinga or Financial Juice, something, that gives you breaking market updates so that you know what's going on within the market, because it does have an impact. Also here in this little trade educational piece, you can kind of go through some of the psychology and discipline, understanding the markets, things like that. Let me see. Oopsie. I need to go back to this so I can show you guys how some of these platforms look like, and then I'm going to okay, so this is Project X. TopStep owns Project X, so it kind of looks like TradingView. So basically, if we're going long, you would buy market or join bid. If we're going short, you would sell market, join ask. Obviously here it's the number of contracts. You can flatten them all. Use your stop losses. Kind of go through here on the left hand corner. There's a little it looks like a little wheel, settings wheel or whatever it's called. You can check to see there's a trade copier in there. There's also risk management, to lock you out, that kind of stuff. So next one is, this is NinjaTrader platform. This right here is, this is what I use. I used to use Tradeovate, and then I switched over to NinjaTrader, and I absolutely hated it at first, but now I love it, obviously, because I'm used to it. Same thing. If we're going long, it's going to be buy market, join bid. If we're going short, sell markets. Close your positions. Reverse if you are, let's say you went long, but you meant to go short. You can click on the REV. It's going to reverse your position. The ATM strategy is basically your stop loss. I don't care what anybody says, and I've seen this on, so especially on social media, no stop loss, no stop loss. Well, guess what? Either you have a hard stop loss, or the market's going to have a hard stop loss for you. So either it's going to blow your account, or you can manage what happens to your account. Whether you have a 20 point, 30 point, whatever your risk is, that's fine, as long as there's a hard stop loss. Because in futures, especially if you're trading NASDAQ or MNQs or NQ, you will be shocked how fast one candle will come through and wipe you out. By the time you click the close button, your account's dead. So always have a hard stop loss. There's no PDT. You can always re-enter. For example, I have, my stop loss is typically 40 ticks, which is 10 points. That's not enough on NQ from many people, but my entries are fairly precise. I use order flow footprint. This is order flow footprint. So this, for me, gives me an edge. Most people don't use this. 95% of traders probably don't even know what this is. But it's important to know. Nope, not answering that. Okay. So let me go ahead and move that over. And then the next one is called Tradeovate. Come on. Okay, so this is what Tradeovate platform looks like. Similar, same stuff, whatever. Buy market, sell market. If you're going long, going short, ATM is your stop loss. Down here, you can also change your, orders or your stop losses, whatever. Some people use a DOM. I don't. It's up to you, obviously. Let me see. Oops. Okay, so I am going to have my friend AJ, who has been trading futures. I got him started back 3 years ago. So he knows what I'm talking about, that we did not have anyone to really teach us. It was trial and error back then, trading futures. So it was a lot of, blown money or whatever. But he's going to go into, if you guys go to the trading journal, and pretty cool stuff in the analytics with insight trades. So this is his. And let me add him on. I will get myself off and then I'll add. Okay. Hey, AJ.
Hey, Minx, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Oh, and also when you're done, I am doing a giveaway for one 25K Lucid account, guys. So you must be here. There's a link that I posted. Uh, go in and you got to log in with your email in order to get an entry. And then I'll just do like a spin the wheel at the end. And then, all right, go ahead.
Yeah, so I won't take up too much time of your guys' day, but I did want to go over this trade journal I've been working on over the last couple months, and we are pretty much ready to release it. We just signed a NinjaTrader agreement as a sort of qualified vendor with them. We got Tradeovate, NinjaTrader, Project X all hooked up for you guys, so we're about ready to kind of just launch this for the masses, so to speak. So. The reason why I created this was because I was really that person that was not going to sit there and journal something in a notebook. I wasn't also going to go through each individual trade and talk about how I was feeling that day, emotions, things like that. I wanted to have all of that come out through my actual trading, come out through just me speaking the words and having something just kind of journal for me pretty much and understand how that trading session went and give me sort of a feedback analysis of the things that I said during that hour, during those 2 hours that I was trading that morning. And that's kind of how Insight Trades came about, right? It was just kind of me building out something for myself, showed it to a few people, and they're like, oh, this is great. Like, how do I get on it? And then sort of over the last month or so, expanded into something that I think is going to be good to share for the trading community. So I'll go over each one of these features. I won't go over too much of things that you've probably already have seen that is provided by a prop firm or that you already have access to through, your win loss or your win rate, things like that. That is super easily available by Tradeovate. So just starting off the dashboard, one thing I wanted to do is I wanted to break up how I trade combines versus how I trade funded accounts versus how I trade my live account with was NinjaTrader, now Tradeovate, so I can get that API access. So right now we're looking at all of the accounts that I have in this account. We're looking at both combines, demo, and live. Now, if I wanted to just look at how my combines are doing, I'll just uncheck live and funded, and I can see, okay, today on this new Take Profit Trader account, I am up $1,500 on the day. Now, right now, it's showing me just the raw numbers that's coming in from Tradeovate. So I'll go ahead and just add commissions so that you can see my total P&L after commissions get added from TPT. And then I also added this feature because the way that I usually scale into positions is going to be, either I'm buying up to 15 micros where I'm going to go 5, 5, and 5, and then adding that to be one position. Now, the one thing I didn't like about other journals that I tried was I didn't see a clear way for us to really do that if it like effectively, or if they were trying to group the trades, it would group incorrectly. So I sort of just redid it on my own and tried to figure out a way to actually make that work. So we got it dialed in pretty good. So if I were to just go to group partials, now it does change your stats a little bit, just because as you scale out, you might scale out of the first M and Q, like just a little bit under break even, or just a little bit for a small loss. But when you go to actually then go to journal that trade, if I were to go and find it, here are the two NQ contracts that had two separate exits, right? So I entered in this. I bought two. Sorry, I bought two NQ, and then I exited at two different positions, right? So instead of having to journal twice, it's going to group those two trades that we get raw data from Trade8. It shows that it's two different trades. We're going to group journal this, so we only have to journal that once, right? So we bring in a screenshot from what we're trading. We can do a trade setup. This is actually going to go away. We actually created brand new playbooks. So I'm going to go with opening range breakout. I can add in all my pre-trade thoughts, entry rationale, exit rationale. Again, all this is optional because we are going to be tying this back to the playbook. And then I would just go ahead and add this trade. So add that journal entry. That then just becomes a journal entry for both of those. So if I were to go and remove the partials, you will see that those two sort of trades get marked, and you'll see the review. You'll see all of the entry criteria, whether or not you followed that playbook. We do provide a lot of the other stats. So we do have an inside trade score. You'll see exactly how those scores are calculated, and then also your sort of your gross profits, your gross losses, all of your stats, and how it actually calculated that score for you. And then I'm going to go ahead and just select all of my funded and live, so we just get more data of that monthly data instead of this a single day. So you'll see your most active day, your most profitable day, least profitable day, just different stats that are available for you. Worst trade, best trade, and then sort of your most recent trades as well. Now, I think what actually sets us apart is all of this you probably have seen on every other platform. Same thing with all of the performance analysis. You're going to have top performing symbols, time of day, trade length, cumulative P&L over time, daily P&L, pretty much everything that you've already seen. I think the main thing that sets us apart is going to be how we go about preparing for the market. So instead of creating a spreadsheet or typing in notes, you can actually type in your notes either in here. So if I just go to a future day, if I want to create a trade plan, and let's say I already have my notes, I threw it in my Discord, you can just type, copy paste, and it will create your plan for you. Or if you want to record, which is what I like to do, is I actually just come in here every morning, and I'll just show you from Friday, right? So I spent about a 6-minute video or so calling out all of the key levels that I was looking at for the day. I was actually looking for the conditional scenario, so like the things that would get me into a trade. NQ holding 675. Then I'm going to be looking for long opportunities targeting a reversal. So it was going to be coming down into 24,675, which is a critical support level that I called out. Then I'm going to be targeting the highs. Now, if we break below 675, then I'm expecting a move down towards an hourly support level that I had, which was 568. Now, all of this gets created for you in real time. So you record, it takes about 30 seconds, and then this trading plan gets created for you. So we have a transcriber on the back end, and then we have AI that is actually planning and putting this into context for you, right? So if I go into the full market thesis, you'll see the entire sort of breakdown of what your the symbol that you looked at, the key scenarios, what that key level that you're looking at really is, and then the entry levels, like your key scenarios of going in to that trade. Now, if I go to today, I had two trading sessions. One is 21 seconds long, so I was testing something out last night. Now, you as a trader, you're able to then come in and trade multiple sessions, right? So if you trade London, if you trade Asia, if you trade the New York Open, if you come back for Power Hour, each trading session is going to have its own widget, right? So this is the New York Open. Now, if I wanted to then recreate a new scene, I can do it using the advanced editor here. So I can create and bring in different charts. So if I wanted to bring in, let's just bring in my TOS chart on one. And then let's say I want to show my execution for, let's just say Top Step X. And then I wanted to show my execution for Trade-Evate, which is going to be my Take Profit Trader. Right now, I've sort of built the scene. I could bring in a webcam, or you could just record your 3 screens, and then you can start recording. You have about a 3-hour window if you're using the browser. We are working on this like advanced feature which uses web codecs, which is going to let us stream for more than like 10 hours if you really want to sit in front of your screen. But now you've built out your scene, you're ready to record, and then all of this just kind of just gets recorded on the back end. So if I were to just select that trading session, it's just going to then take the time, understand what time it is, and then mark that as, hey, like you're trading the mid-morning, or you're trading the lunch, New York lunch, whatever that may be. It's going to flag it and then call it out. So again, it's going to then look at this 16-minute video from this morning. It's going to give me an overview of that performance, key moments that it flagged in each one of these. Each minute or two should have at least one key moment. That's kind of what we've taught it to do. Now, if I'm not saying anything and I'm just kind of watching the charts and not really talking through, or we're in the middle of chop, it's not going to obviously give you a key moment because there's nothing there. But anything that it calls out or anything that it sees as a key moment, it's going to take that entire transcription and then break it down and find the key moments in those 16 minutes. The exact same thing is going to happen with the emotional journey. I know Minx had called out like, hey, like, you know, you can, like, how are you feeling? How did you feel about that trade going into it? Now, what it's able to do, because we're using OpenAI and then we're having Grok sort of help out with some of the reasoning and some of that language there, to then understand what kind of words that you're saying and then give it like an emotion, right? So cautious coming into the day, market was at Globex high, and it's sort of taking a small piece of what you said at the beginning of the video and then understanding like, oh, hey, he's cautious because we're already at the Globex high, so we could see a giant pullback. Right now you're looking at the market open, like, hey, it just pumped unexpectedly during that first 5 minutes, and then missing a trade. It felt you were a little frustrated. Staying patient. So like, I'm talking through, just self-talk myself, like, hey, I'm not going to chase this. I'm going to wait for it to come back. And then disappointed, right? So I think I was in a trade that was up about $15, and it came back and tapped me out at break even. That's when I ended my day. And then rule violation, you actually set these up yourself. So I have like everything that could be a rule violation to just kind of flag it here as a missed opportunity. For me, it's like when I miss a trade, I feel like I need to get back into it to like catch up to it. Because let's say I'm like 15 points off my entry. It's like, hey, I think this is going 40 points, right? So I try to get in off of a missed opportunity, and then it only comes back just to take my stop anyway. So it's just something that I have in there as well. Now, once you're actually done with the pre-market, the live trading session, you can then go into the post-market, right? So this is kind of like the post-game review, so to speak. So you can look at the symbols that you traded, whether they were planned in here or not, the setups. Now, I haven't gone to actually journal and like enter in all the playbooks that I use, but When I go, I'm actually going to be using the VWAP bounce. I'm going to be using the orb, and you're going to see that these actually turn green, much like the NQ did here. You'll see the execution. So it's actually looking at both the take profit and it's looking at top step X, trades, P&L, total win rate, and then the symbols that I traded. Again, the rule violations. And then it's looking through that emotional journey, right? So it's looking at the test from yesterday, things that you went through, as well as the exact same emotional journey for New York Open. It's going to give you a session debrief on each one of these. So your first session, your second session, it's going to tell you what went well, some areas for improvement, right? This will obviously go away once we actually go in and select the playbook for those plans. And then some key takeaways. So this is just kind of like very high level things that you can probably work on for the next day. So it's just going to say, notice emotional shifts early. There are warning signs, continue journaling, self-awareness is your edge. Now, on the playbook side, you have the ability to create your own playbook from scratch. So if you have a custom playbook that you follow, that's totally fine. If you want to use a template, clone it, and then just type in your own rules, we have 17 templates, and we're working with different traders in the space to continuously grow that template library. But for me, I have these 4. And then usually I'm using a break and retest, or I'm using the opening range breakout. Inside of each one of these playbooks, if I were to click on it, you'd see sort of what my win rate is, my average loss, my best trade in here, my worst trade, my average hold time. And then you'll see the rules that we've set up, right? So like, one, are you waiting for that setup, right? Are you waiting for that 15-minute to close? Are you waiting for that confirmation candle to close outside of that opening range? And then you must have some volume behind it. Like, it must be a sustained sort of breakout, and to avoid those fake outs. You'll have the entry and timing. So, happening within that first hour of the day, 1 trade per session. This is just an optional one that kind of came out of the template. And then you got some risk management, right? So like, are you sticking to your risk management? Now, if your risk management is wider or is tighter, you would just come in here and you would just edit the criteria. And then you can just come in here and change that criteria, whatever you want that rule to be, whatever your stop, whatever you say your stop is going to be. It might be 30 points. You would just go ahead and just change that to 30 and save those changes, and then you should be good. Now, one other thing that we are working on as well, as it ties back to sort of prop firms payouts, is a way to track how much you're actually making from these prop firms, right? So right now I have my, the only connection I have, so we do have a connection through Plaid. You can connect your bank account if you get sort of wires sent from your prop firms. I have Wise, and then you can connect any other bank or any other service that is serviced by Plaid. It's already integrated. We also have AI Mentor. So you'll also see a chatbot here on the right-hand side, where it's a Chat GPT 5.1 sort of just model, but it's only looking at your data. So all of the data from your playbooks to your win rates, everything that you've talked about in every single market prep is available to this agent, and it's able to speak to exactly what you're doing, right? So at the end of the month, what we do is you can say like, hey, how did I trade? Where can I get better in December? It will look at all of your November data and then give you sort of an output there. This is the exact same thing. So this is just kind of a pop out of that bot. So it's kind of all in one. And then you'll see your trade score. You'll see overall performance. We're working on trade copier. So we're working on getting this a little bit better before we're actually able to release it to folks. Right now, it's just me playing around with it, but hopefully in the next month or so, we'll be able to release it. Now, your connected accounts. So we are connected to Ninja, Tradeovate, and Project X. Now, Project X, you do need to pay their $29 subscription. I think all of these are going to be going away soon. So Top Step X, you just get your API key from your Project X login and the username you use to log in, and then you'll see it's already there. So all of my Project X, I would just go ahead and sync trades. I think I already synced all of them for the day, but when you actually see it, the success metric that you should see is going to be no new trades, a bunch of duplicate trades coming in. All right, so yep, okay, so all my trades have been already successfully added. Now with Take Profit Trader, what I'll do here is I'm actually going to take a quick micro on YM, and this is a little bit different just because from Project X we already calculate the commissions that come in, but with Tradeaway and Take Profit Trader, everyone has different commission setup. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rediscover this account. Okay, one account found, and I took a micro YM just because I've never traded that. So I'm actually just going to resync this account, and it's going to pick up that you actually you're traded a different symbol than what you've traded in the past, right? It's like, hey, you have ES, you have NQ. We don't know what the commission rate is for this contract, and I don't know what it is, to be honest with you. So I'm actually just going to do like 0.25 and hit save. Now every trade going forward where I trade the micro YM, it's actually going to just calculate it automatically. And it's going to be, if you trade with 6 different prop firms, you would just enter in the commission for that different prop firm, and every trade going forward that belongs to that prop firm will then get calculated properly for you guys. Cool. Yeah, that's pretty much the platform. I mean, we can spend a little bit more time on the performance heat map or any of the analysis that we go through, but a lot of it is the things that you've already seen, like trade length, the time of day analysis, things like that. I think the most powerful part is going to be using the AI bot to actually help you understand, like, are you following your plan? How can I get better? And then you can also look at your insights trade score, which would then, if we just select get insights, it's going to just give you a disclaimer like, hey, the AI is not telling you to go long or do this or do that. It's just more for like an understanding. And then you'll see sort of like, areas to improve, like, hey, your profit factor, your average win loss is actually low. And then sort of like large occurrences, abnormally large losses, etc. And then sort of benchmarks on like what's actually a good score here. Then it's just going to give you a breakdown of how that score works. And then, yeah, that's pretty much how you use it. Everything else you've probably already seen, but the AI mentor is actually going to be some of the best stuff that you're going to see. So like, so this is going to be taking like a little bit. It's going to, right? So it's actually looking at your best trade times. Your P&L would have improved significantly, reducing losses 89% of the time. Actionable steps. So, and I'll tell you exactly what happened is I actually lost a bunch of funded accounts during the Asia session, and that sort of blew my sort of my win like percentage and profit percentage out of the water when I lost those accounts. So sort of I think that's what it's calling out here is like, hey, you want to stick between the morning session, right? It's going to tell you different types of, lots of trades in here, right? Don't have a lot of setups. Some of it was just historical data that I'm not going to go back 2 years and try to figure out. And then you just have some additional sort of insights here, reducing size, journaling more, review and adapt, things like that. So yeah, that is the platform. Any questions there? You're also able to hop on the platform and for free. If you use the code Minx, you get, I believe, you get 30 days free with the code Minx, and you're able to just use every single feature, including the financials. You can connect your financials. You can mess around with the AI bot. The only one that is not ready for anyone to use, other than admins on my team, is going to be the trade copier. But you will have unlimited access to the market prep, setting up playbooks, pretty much everything except the trade copier, because we don't want to be responsible for messing up or blowing up anyone's accounts if it's not working 100% and it's not as good or better than things that are already out there. So
I don't have any questions. Let me see if anybody else. Do you guys have any questions? Anybody? How really, hold on. Let me go back through these. Sometimes these are a little bit delayed, like 10, 15 seconds. I don't know why. Thanksgiving, Black Friday. Is this session recorded? I mean, will it be on? Yes. So this is going to be recorded, and it is going to be on both mine and AJ's session. You can go back and watch it later. How really you are explaining it's very crisp and clear. Thank you. Which one would you choose, static or end of day? I would choose static. Somebody said, look at that. You're dropping us good gems. Thank you for bringing all of this. Yeah, thanks for having AJ. Okay, so looks like nobody has any questions. So what I'm going to do is I will do a little spin for that Lucid freaking giveaway. Hold on a second. This one. Oops, let me reload. Seconds left. Hang on, guys. Quick draws. Oh, competition's live. Okay, I gotta share my screen now. Oh, I am sure. Am I? I am. All right. Okay. It's gonna draw a little winner. Thanks, Fenster. Yeah, AJ's. Yeah, the features are pretty cool. Kevin L. Is there a Kevin L here? I feel like I'm in doing roll call at school. Yeah, you guys have to be here. Hey, Fenster, the guy that I did the quick draw the other day, he already where we kept like trying and trying. And I was like, okay, one more try, and the guy wins it. He actually passed his account. He just messaged me today. He passed his account. So, all right, looks like no Kevin. So we're gonna repick. Unless Kevin shows up, the next person is gonna be the winner. Wait, oops, wrong person. New, okay. Not wrong person, but Lucid. Balager? Balaher? Yeah, he did deserve it. Is there such a person in here? Okay, I'm gonna keep repicking. If the person shows up by the time the next person is up, because I don't have all day, y'all. Also, I have a lot of giveaways, guys. Go to Prop from Trend, click on Hot Deals and Giveaways. I think I've got like maybe 10 of them running. Michael P. Please let it not be Michael Patak. Yeah, well. Any Michael P? Anybody? All right. Next person. Lucid. 25K. You guys have to tell me if you're the person. Again, Kevin? No, Kevin's not here. Kevin! Good Lord. I know, right? Hey. Brian M. I guess I'll be here all fucking day, huh? Y'all, I told you have to be here for the whole thing in order to win. Because it's not fair to those that were. This Kevin guy. What the fuck? Why he keeps showing up? Get 5 winners and we check if any's not here and we check next person. That's what. Oh. No, I can't because there's only one winner. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, you know what? That's a good idea. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna pick 5 winners. But what if both people are here? Then who wins? You guys tell me, because I don't want to be not fair. Maybe we do 3? Okay, let's do 3. Salt B, Tamika G, and Ram B. We go one by one. Any of you here? Fenster, you should be winning because you and a few of these guys are always on here. But you guys know you gotta wait, right? Okay, looks like none of them are here. Oh my lords. I know, Sol Bay and Ram. Yeah, well, they're not here, Fenster. Not fair. So let's do 3. You know what? Let's do 5. Let's start doing 10. It's gonna pick somebody, right? How does this person get? Who are you, smooth operator? There's Satish, Michael P, and Tamika. I see Satish. He was in here. Are you still here? Watch, he probably left. Damn. Why is NQ dropping? Satish, you've got like 30. No, you got 3 seconds before I do a new quick draw. You're here. There you are. Because I saw you typing earlier. Well. All right. Okay. Well, gotta DM me, okay? On Twitter. Or I don't know where you are. Are you on Twitter or are you on YouTube? It doesn't matter. You're on YouTube. Okay. Shoot. Are there DMs on YouTube, you guys? I don't even know. I never check YouTube because I don't know anything about YouTube. How to claim it? Can you go on Twitter and go to I am Jamings? You're on YouTube only? Shoot. Guys, I need. Are you in Discord? Jamings on X. IG. Where else? How about you just send me an email? Because then I can check your email. Go to support@propfromtrend.com. There you go. Okay. Satish, just send me an email. All right, guys. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll bring on AJ another time just to do his piece so he can show you guys, and if you guys have like any questions or something like that. No, it's not gonna. Oops. It does not pick the same person, but what he probably did is yeah, that is kind of weird that the person is picked 3 times. Okay, I'll do one more, guys. So Satish, you can message me, but I think it's because see how it says like how many entries there are? There aren't very many entered. Let me check to see how many actually entered. Only 16 people entered. That's why. And each entry, what this means is that you know how it has like click on how do I explain this to you guys? Hang on. It will say like click on each activity counts as an entry. So like I have 0 entries obviously because I'm not part of this, but Satish could have technically like 8 or 10. Each user can have that many. Oh shit, that's the wrong one. Wait. 250K, 25K. Ended, finished. Yep, there was only 16 people that entered it. That's crazy. And okay, so I will show you guys how it looks like. Because he didn't. You can't enter more than once. So Fenster, I'm gonna also like copy a little bit of your stuff. So I'm not showing anybody's email. See that? Well, what that means is that this person entered all of these. So each entry counts as 1. Y'all see that? Sign up for the Prop from Trend, YouTube, follow, all of that. So that's it. Each activity is an entry. Okay, I'll draw one more just so that, just because I'm a nice person. Not really a business person, but apparently I have been told. Hang on. Competitions finished. Where the hell is it now? Oh, Ended. Scheduled. Active. All right. Okay. I'll draw one more for that 50K. Oh, you know what? I don't know how to do this, guys. Competition quick draws. Finished. Well, this one is going to show. I don't want to show anybody's email. Jesus. Competitions. It's down here somewhere. Pick a live. Quick draws. Competitions live. Oh, I love streaming this, guys. Sorry. It's supposed to be under quick draws, but maybe this. There it is. Otherwise, it's going to show the person's email, and I don't want that on here. That's why. Lucid 25K. Adam D. There you go. I can see. You guys did have decent odds. 16 freaking people. Yeah, I know, right? Happy Thanksgiving. All right, message me, please. Thank you. You're welcome. All right, guys, I hope you all have a wonderful day and happy Thanksgiving. And Adam, anywhere, I don't care. Just DM me on Discord or Twitter, or I'll still recheck to see, you're gonna have to provide me the email. Both of you, so that I can match up and make sure that it's not somebody trying to claim somebody else's, you know what I mean? All right, guys, I'm out. Minx out.